in 2017, I burned out and I walked away at the height of my career from a job I'd worked very hard to reach, that I was really, really good at, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I fundamentally changed my relationship to my work, but it also fundamentally changed my relationship with me. And then I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to stop. Super, super, super easy things. I'm not kidding. They'll take 5 seconds a day and they will really start making a difference in your life. We spin in self-doubt and indecision, or we people please. Like, these are the typical things that do it. And in this talk, what we'll really dive into is the perfectionism and a little bit of the people pleasing that will lead us into burnout. 50% of women leave tech by mid-career. And 50% of those folks that are leaving before the age of 35. What we call procrastination is sometimes just the only time we can rest. Because if we have this endless list of to-do, then the only time that we get to rest is when we stop. And we don't even really get to rest because we're not calling it rest. We're calling it procrastination. And then we're shaming ourselves for actually just needing a break. If you're the person doing the complaining, you're wearing yourself down. I have to pick my health and my mental health in particular, or I can keep working in this industry, but I can't do both. You get that? I'm just going to check Slack one more time before I go to bed. And then you find a thing and then you're up for another 45 minutes. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about work. And this is honestly what makes you the most tired, is you're replaying the conversations that you didn't have. You're rehearsing for things you haven't had yet. And it really never stops. Everyone should be able to have a job and a life without burning out. Instead of punching someone else in the face, you're going to come in and you're going to punch yourself in the face. You're going to should, could, and would all over yourself. It doesn't matter what they think. It only matters what I think. That's really the most empowering thing, when you can still really turn down that outer volume and turn up the volume on you deciding what's right and what's wrong. Our brains are very lazy. They want to optimize pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. We quit before we even start because we're so busy beating ourselves up and creating self-doubt that we can't get off the starting line. No bad bitch ever took over the world from a place of shame. I can be a dedicated parent and never bake brownies. I can be a reliable friend and never go to girls' brunch. Right? I can make a mistake and not make it mean anything about me or my ability or my future. I accomplished everything I did despite how crappy I was to myself. Rest is always at for me, it was always just at some point in the future. It was always after this project or after this. You'll never know your full potential. You'll never get off the starting line and really understand where your edges are if you're too exhausted, right? If you're so burned out that you can't even care for yourself. We get more energy because we're not exhausted by the incessant worrying and overthinking and needing to know every single step, and not just having plan A and plan B and plan C, but plan Z 741, right? The feeling of confidence is going to come from your thoughts.